Welcome back, traders. This is Synthetic Scalar FX back again with another market breakdown. So today we're going to be breaking down a trade that I took on Jump 50, and yeah, as you guys can see, it looks like this trade it actually did hit our TP levels. It did not take more than 5 minutes to do so. It took less than 20 minutes, but yeah, we're going to break down this trade from the top to the bottom on how I actually did manage to catch this buy. And yeah, so let's just start off from the very top. I'm going to be very low because I do not want to make noise. Currently where I am, there's an echo, so as I am recording this, I hope you guys can bear with me that yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off our analysis on the 1 hour time frame, where we can see that the market is in an uptrend because we're making higher highs and higher lows, you guys can see, right? Then yeah, we now go to this level where we feel that the market might get to that area there at the top, but we're currently in some form of range, which we are going to look into on a lower time frame. So let's zoom in and see what we have there. And also we can see that at the left we have that area which can be our overall target, because we want to say that the market is trading in an uptrend, so we might be targeting those highs. So let's go down to the M50, and then from there we can see more price action and more movements, right? Okay, so let's try and zoom in. Okay, so first things first, what can we see? We can see the market is currently in a range, right? Let me just draw this range properly. Okay, we know to say the market is an uptrend, but price is currently ranging, so it's accumulating before it can have a major move to the downside or to the upside, right? But we can see that the previous high point there was broken, so we can indicate that as a break of structure, right? I use some smart money concept terms because I did at some point try and learn some of these concepts, which I do use in my price action trading. Okay, yeah, so let's copy that and good to see that. We can see that another high was broken, right? And then the lows are not being broken, so let's first indicate that high point that we have there, which price is actually trading at. But we can see that these lows are not breaking the previous ones, which shows this that we're in a very strong uptrend. Even as we are trading in the range, we can see that the market is pushing upside in the range, which is indicating that the buyers are still strong in this point in time, right? But we want to focus on the price action which is currently happening, right? Because we're day traders, guys, and I do say this, like even in the previous video, which you guys should watch, so that you see that. Yeah, but anyway, you guys can see there, right? So this is the current price that I've indicated where we are currently trading at, in this area right there, where we not say that that's our current high point, which we are looking forward to seeing price breaking there. We're looking forward to see price break that level. So let's go down to the M5 time frame. Now what I noticed here is a potential setup. Now for most of you who have seen my previous video can see to say that this is almost similar to the type of setup that I took in the previous trade. But anyway, let's move on. Let's go down to the 1 minute so that we can clearly see. Yeah, so it's a 5-minute setup, but yeah, it's a 5-minute setup, but we can go down to the M1 so we can clearly see what I'm talking about. And this is what I actually did after I saw on the 5-minute that the setup is getting ready. I need to say that okay, let me draw my trend lines first and foremost. I always draw my trend lines to see what is price doing. So there, clearly draw the trend lines. Okay, now after I do so, I look to say, okay, let me see is what I'm seeing actually clear, because I like to see an impulse which indicated that okay, the bulls in the market are actually there. We saw this impulse, right? And after every impulse, before I can take any buy or sell, I like to see some form of a correction, a corrective move. And the corrective move, it shouldn't consist of very high candles which are moving in the opposite direction of where I want to enter. So you can see that the corrective move had minimal selling pressure. The candles that were there, as much as they were forming many bear candles, they were not of high power. Which, yeah, the candles went strong and large, so it showed that the price movement there, it was very corrective. So I got my Fibonacci to test to see if we are testing a 50% level there, which we did. We tested maybe the 50 to 61% level, which is okay, and I saw the price somewhere around that circle that I'm currently drawing. That's the area that I saw price trading. Let me just take that out. That's where I saw price trading, in this area. That's where I saw it, and I was like, okay, so this is a potential buy, right? Now I looked at other markets and said, okay, is there something that is going to give me more? But then I came back to said, okay, this one is what I can take for the day, and then I continued my analysis. Of course, I I didn't show that here, but like that's what had happened initially. I did look at other markets, but yeah, I put that. You can see that high was what I actually targeted on this setup that I took. That was my TP level. But you know how we calculate our TPs? We get that impulse. You can either put it at the bottom trend to calculate, like your TP2 level, or you put it at the top you put it at the break of the structure. But that also depends on other things such as the highs, right? But we can see that this market is currently at resistance. And lucky enough for me, as I took my setup, I knew to say that I'm not going to target big risk reward ratios, because the chances of it pushing up may be slim, because we're in a range. We never know what can happen. But right now, we might see that the market might, break above, or it might push to the lower side. But before we get into any of that, let's keep breaking down the trade that we actually did take. So yeah, I saw to say that okay, I'm much better off targeting the high of the pattern, of the chart pattern that I saw. So I entered my buys around that area there. I put my stop loss slightly below that structure, just to give it some room, because we're trading on M1. Sometimes jump pairs are funny. They can jump against you. But yeah, we targeted. But I remember I traded at a 1 to 5 risk reward. So yeah, I had a very slim stop. And lucky enough that the trade had little to no drawdown, because it would have taken me out. And if it jumped against me, that would have been very bad. I would have maybe been closed in negative figures because of the lot size that I used for the small accounts. So yeah, I just try to adjust that. But anyway, like I said, guys, this is a voiceover, so I'm just trying to explain what I saw as I was doing so. I should try to work on getting my equipment, set so that I can move into live trading maybe after I do 10 of these videos. But anyway, if I was to target my TP2, we can see that there's still more potential to get to that level. But I was very much satisfied with only TP1 because you know that it doesn't always get to TP2, TP3. But if you have a proper set TP1 target, believe you me, you are well enough going to hit that target most times, and it can ensure you at least making sure that every time you take a trade, you at least close with something. It might not be big, but if we did target TP1, we're going to take that area there, put it at that point, which I know was about 1 to 1. So you see, would have eliminated our risk at a 1 to 1. Then there would have made our profits. Right? Okay, let's move on. If we go to our TP3, there's our target. We can see that that's about a 1 to 10 risk reward ratio. Let's take that out. Right? Okay. Let's zoom out a little. Yeah, so there might be a potential that the price may have gone all the way up there, right? But we wanted to ensure that we get our profits. Maybe I should have closed partial, but I made sure to put a take profit for all of them because I didn't know if I was going to get back on the charts. Because for today, this is the only trade that I took, right? So yeah, this has also tested our 50% fib level. And it looks to say that it broke the previous high, right? It broke the previous high. So there may be a chance that price will push all the way up to our TP3, right? There may have been that chance, but I don't think I was willing to risk it because I didn't make out the amount I wanted to make. Of may have been split between two accounts, but I did make my profit, my trading target on both accounts for the day. Of course, I started with small accounts, but the profits, I almost tripled my account. So I'm very much happy with that. But that's going to be the end for today, guys. I noticed that I've rushed a little making this, but I just wanted to break down this trade for you guys so that you see what we got for the day.